Social-emotional learning, SEL, represents a transformative approach to education, one that recognizes the integral role of emotions, relationships, and social awareness in fostering holistic human development. At its core, SEL is the process through which individuals, both children and adults, acquire and effectively apply the knowledge, attitudes, and skills necessary to understand and manage emotions, set and achieve positive goals, feel and show empathy for others, establish and maintain positive relationships, and make responsible decisions. This comprehensive framework is not merely a collection of soft skills or ancillary lessons. Rather, it is foundational to academic achievement, personal fulfillment, and the cultivation of healthy, equitable communities. The origins of SEL can be traced back to the growing recognition among educators and psychologists that cognitive learning alone was insufficient to prepare young people for the complexities of modern life. Traditional models of education emphasized rote memorization, standardized testing, and the mastery of discrete academic subjects. However, as research in developmental psychology, neuroscience, and pedagogy advanced, it became clear that emotional intelligence, self-regulation, and interpersonal skills were equally vital for lifelong success. The Collaborative for Academic, Social, and Emotional Learning, CASEL, founded in 1994, has played a pivotal role in defining, researching, and promoting SEL, articulating a widely adopted framework that encompasses 5 core competencies: self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making. Self-awareness forms the bedrock of SEL, encompassing the ability to recognize one's own emotions, thoughts, and values, and how they influence behavior. This competency extends to accurately assessing one's strengths and limitations, cultivating a well-grounded sense of confidence and optimism. Self-awareness is not an innate trait, but a skill that can be developed through reflective practices, mindfulness exercises, and constructive feedback. In educational settings, fostering self-awareness enables students to identify their learning styles, recognize triggers for stress or frustration, and articulate their needs more effectively. It also lays the groundwork for emotional regulation and empathy, as individuals who understand themselves are better equipped to understand and connect with others. Closely linked to self-awareness is self-management, which refers to the ability to regulate one's emotions, thoughts, and behaviors in different situations. This includes managing stress, controlling impulses, motivating oneself, and setting and working toward personal and academic goals. Effective self-management is crucial for resilience, perseverance, and adaptability in the face of challenges. For students, this might mean employing coping strategies during exams, persisting through difficult assignments, or balancing academic responsibilities with extracurricular activities. For educators and parents, modeling self-management demonstrates to children that setbacks are opportunities for growth rather than reasons for despair. Techniques such as goal setting, time management, and positive self-talk are practical tools within this domain. Social awareness represents the capacity to take the perspective of and empathize with others from diverse backgrounds and cultures. It involves understanding social norms for behavior, recognizing family, school, and community resources and supports, and appreciating diversity. Social awareness is essential for building inclusive environments where all individuals feel seen, heard, and valued. In classrooms, this translates to lessons on cultural competence, anti-bias education, and collaborative group work that encourages students to listen actively and respect differing viewpoints. Beyond the classroom, social awareness fosters civic engagement and a sense of responsibility to contribute positively to the broader society. Relationship skills are the abilities required to establish and maintain healthy and rewarding relationships with diverse individuals and groups. This competency encompasses communicating clearly, listening actively, cooperating, resisting inappropriate social pressure, negotiating conflict constructively, and seeking or offering help when needed. Relationship skills are vital not only for academic collaboration, but also for navigating the complexities of friendships, family dynamics, and professional interactions. Schools that prioritize relationship building create supportive communities where students feel connected and motivated to learn. Peer mediation programs, restorative justice circles, and mentorship initiatives are examples of how schools can intentionally cultivate strong relationship skills among students and staff alike. Responsible decision-making entails making ethical, constructive choices about personal and social behavior. It involves considering the well-being of oneself and others, recognizing the consequences of various actions, and evaluating options in light of safety, social norms, and long-term goals. Responsible decision-making is not limited to avoiding negative behaviors. It also encompasses proactive choices that promote well-being, equity, and justice. In practice, this might include students choosing to intervene in bullying situations, advocate for environmental sustainability, or participate in community service projects. By nurturing critical thinking and ethical reasoning, SEL empowers individuals to become conscientious, engaged citizens. The integration of SEL into educational systems has profound implications for both individual and collective outcomes. Numerous studies have demonstrated that SEL programs lead to improved academic performance, increased pro-social behaviors, reduced emotional distress, and lower rates of conduct problems and substance abuse. A landmark meta-analysis published in 2011 found that students who participated in evidence-based SEL programs showed an average gain of 11 percentile points in academic achievement compared to their peers who did not participate. Moreover, these benefits persist over time, suggesting that SEL provides a durable foundation for lifelong learning and well-being. Beyond academic metrics, SEL contributes to the creation of safe, inclusive, and supportive school climates. When students feel emotionally secure and valued, they are more likely to engage in learning, take intellectual risks, and develop a sense of belonging. Teachers who are equipped with SEL strategies report higher job satisfaction, lower rates of burnout, and more positive relationships with students and colleagues. SEL also serves as a protective factor against the adverse effects of trauma, poverty, discrimination, and other social determinants of health, helping to mitigate disparities and promote equity. Implementing SEL, however, is not without its challenges. Effective SEL requires intentionality, consistency, and cultural responsiveness. It cannot be relegated to a single curriculum or isolated lesson. Rather, it must be woven throughout the fabric of school life, from classroom instruction to disciplinary policies, extracurricular activities, and family engagement. Professional development for educators is critical, as teachers must possess both the skills and the confidence to model SEL competencies and facilitate meaningful learning experiences. Additionally, SEL initiatives must be adapted to reflect the unique needs, values, and cultural contexts of each school community, avoiding a one-size-fits-all approach that may inadvertently perpetuate bias or exclusion. Family and community partnerships are essential components of successful SEL implementation. Parents and caregivers serve as children's first teachers, shaping their emotional and social development from an early age. Schools that engage families as active partners in SEL efforts, through workshops, communication, and shared activities, are better positioned to reinforce positive behaviors and values across home and school environments. Community organizations, mental health professionals, and local leaders can also provide resources, expertise, and support, creating a holistic ecosystem that nurtures the whole child. Technology presents both opportunities and challenges for SEL. On one hand, digital platforms can facilitate social connection, personalized learning, and access to resources that support emotional well-being. Online SEL curricula, virtual counseling, and social-emotional assessment tools are increasingly available to educators and students. On the other hand, excessive screen time, cyberbullying, and the erosion of face-to-face interactions can undermine social and emotional development. It is imperative that technology be leveraged thoughtfully, with attention to fostering genuine human connection and safeguarding mental health. SEL is not confined to the K-12 context. Its principles are relevant across the lifespan and in a variety of settings. In higher education, SEL supports college readiness, persistence, and career success, equipping students with the emotional intelligence and interpersonal skills demanded by the modern workforce. In the workplace, employers increasingly recognize the value of SEL competencies, such as teamwork, adaptability, and ethical decision-making, in driving productivity, innovation, and organizational culture. Even in adult life, SEL remains central to personal relationships, parenting, community involvement, and overall well-being. Cultural competence is a vital dimension of SEL, particularly in diverse and globalized societies. Effective SEL must honor and reflect the identities, experiences, and values of all students, rather than imposing a monocultural or deficit-based perspective. This requires educators to engage in ongoing self-reflection, challenge their own biases, and create spaces where students' voices and stories are affirmed. Culturally responsive SEL incorporates materials, examples, and practices that resonate with students' lived realities, while also fostering cross-cultural understanding and solidarity. Assessment and evaluation are important components of SEL implementation. Measuring social and emotional competencies presents unique challenges, as these skills are often context-dependent and not easily captured by traditional tests. However, a variety of tools, such as surveys, observations, self-reflections, and performance tasks, can provide valuable insights into students' growth and areas for improvement. Data-driven approaches enable schools to monitor progress, identify gaps, and refine SEL initiatives to maximize impact. Policy support at the local, state, and national levels is critical for sustaining and scaling SEL efforts. Policymakers can allocate funding, set standards, and incentivize the adoption of evidence-based SEL programs. They can also promote integration with other priorities, such as mental health, anti-bullying, equity, and school safety. Advocacy by educators, parents, and community members is essential to ensure that SEL remains a central pillar of educational reform and innovation. The COVID-19 pandemic underscored the urgency of SEL, as students, educators, and families grappled with unprecedented disruptions, isolation, and trauma. In this context, schools that prioritized SEL were better able to support students' emotional needs, foster resilience, and maintain a sense of connection amid uncertainty. The lessons learned during this crisis have reinforced the importance of embedding SEL in all aspects of education, not as an optional add-on, but as a necessity for human flourishing. Looking ahead, the future of SEL lies in its ability to adapt to changing contexts, embrace innovation, and address emerging challenges. As the world becomes more interconnected and complex, the demand for individuals who can navigate ambiguity, collaborate across differences, and lead with empathy will only grow. SEL provides the blueprint for cultivating these capacities, preparing individuals not only for academic and professional success, but also for meaningful, purpose-driven lives. In summary, social-emotional learning is a holistic, evidence-based approach that recognizes the interdependence of emotional, social, and cognitive development. By nurturing self-awareness, self-management, social awareness, relationship skills, and responsible decision-making, SEL equips individuals with the tools they need to thrive in school, work, and life. Its benefits extend beyond individual achievement to encompass the creation of just, inclusive, and resilient communities. While challenges remain, the growing momentum behind SEL reflects a collective commitment to reimagining education as a force for human flourishing, equity, and social transformation. Through sustained effort, collaboration, and innovation, SEL holds the promise of unlocking the full potential of every learner, empowering them to navigate the complexities of the world with compassion, courage, and wisdom.